Donovan Mitchell has been one of the stars of the NBA so far this season. He's dropped the most points scored by an individual since Kobe Bryant's 81, and life in Cleveland is looking all the more beautiful with Mitchell on the side. But with him going back to Utah for a regular season game, let's see what kind of reaction was predicted from the fans and how it all went down. Let's begin. Starting with, Jazz excited to welcome back D. Mitch. It's genuinely a rarity that a trade ends up being a win-win scenario for all parties involved. In fact, for the purpose of this statement, we explored many former trade scenarios, and we really couldn't find more than a few that worked out better, or as well as the Mitchell to Cleveland one. That there was a great possibility that fans in Utah wouldn't even mind that Mitchell has taken a big step into his development and has somehow become even better. And with him set to return for a regular season matchup in Utah, many believed he'd have a great reception from the organization, but also from the fans. But why is that so? Well, when the trade was complete, the Cavaliers received Donovan Mitchell while the Jazz got their hands on future first-round picks and future first-round draft swaps, along with Lauri Markkanen, who has been killing it, Colin Sexton, and Ochai Agbaji. All three youngsters have become a crucial part of this new-look Jazz side, which was predicted by many to tank. That is what Justin Zanuck had said when the deal was completed. But even the Jazz GM wouldn't have known just how brilliantly it would all work out for Utah as well. For the Cavaliers, it was more of the same. They received an all-star already and primed to explode in the best years of his life, and he hasn't disappointed, becoming the face of the young franchise immediately since arriving in Cleveland. Up next, Jazz Nation was expected to give a warm welcome to Mitchell. The owner of the Utah Jazz, Ryan Smith, was asked about Donovan Mitchell's return to Utah, and his response was a brilliant one. He told the media that once a Jazzman, always a Jazzman, and that bit will certainly be true. Smith explained how everyone in the franchise honors the amazing 5 seasons given by Mitchell to the Jazz and his incredible contributions to the Utah community. He added that Mitchell will always be a part of the Jazz legacy, and even if he wears the jersey of a competitor, he'd still be adored by the fans on his return. The owner also pointed out how he looked forward to seeing every Jazz fan join him in a standing ovation for Donovan as he returns to Utah for the first time of many over the course of his career. Very warm words. We can certainly say that Mitch didn't burn any bridges when he left the Jazz for Cleveland, and that's why he very much deserves the warm reception that he was expected to receive. After all, being traded to Utah on draft night back in 2017, Mitchell took it upon himself to prove how the Denver Nuggets got it wrong by trading him, and he's not looked back since. Mitchell's performed at an extraordinary level and has become one of only 2 players of his draft class to be an all-star in 3 of their first 5 seasons, along with Jason Tatum. Adding to that, brief look at Speeda's Jazz legacy. He may not have won the Utah Jazz a ring or something, but he still left the city with a lot of personal and team achievements. Over the course of his Jazz career, the 13th pick of the 2017 draft scored nearly 24 points per game, along with 4.5 assists, 4.2 rebounds, and 1.3 steals. Not to mention, he was shooting at over 44% for the entirety of the stint, along with over 36% from the range. Moreover, Speeda also won the 2018 Slam Dunk Contest in his rookie campaign, and also made it to the first team All-Rookie. But that's not all. In only 5 years, Mitchell climbed the franchise record books, and by the time he left Utah for Cleveland, he was already in the top 10 for almost every statistic. He's 8th in total points scored, 4th in points per game, 2nd in made 3-pointers, and 2nd in usage percentage. Not to mention, Mitchell's also 9th in minutes per game and 8th in assists per game, while ranking 9th in steals per game throughout Jazz's history, and all in only 5 years. Like most other top-class players, Mitchell's numbers improve massively in the postseason, as he ranks 4th in points, 7th in assists, and 9th in steals in franchise history, and owns the all-time single-season 3-point record when he knocked down 232 during the 2021-22 campaign. There really isn't more that Mitchell could have done, as he helped the team to playoffs every year, along with a .632 winning percentage as a starter. Legendary stuff. Also, a legacy beyond the on-court exploit. While his numbers are legendary, without a doubt, it's what Donovan Mitchell did for the Utah community beyond the court that can never be matched. That's mostly the reason his legendary status will never be revoked no matter what, given the fact that he backed up his words with generosity. A campaign of social justice and education, Mitchell used his platform to speak out against inequity and racism. He pledged $12 million to Greenwich County Day, his alma mater, and also the school where his mother taught. Not to mention, he donated all his proceeds from the sales of his Adidas sneaks for scholarships and academy initiatives for Black students at the University of Louisville. The 26-year-old was awarded the off-season NBA Cares Community Assist Award back in the summer of 2020, and it was definitely painful for the fans to see him leave. Moving on, some Jazz fans may still be divided on Speeda's homecoming. Despite all his heroic work for the community and beyond, there was a lot of talk about how not every Utah fan would be happy to see Mitchell back. If there was any doubt, Mitchell himself pointed it out. He explained how he had no idea idea what kind of response was waiting for him in Utah, but he did hope it would be cheers, as they did a lot of great things, but also failed to accomplish the end goal. The end goal being a championship, and Mitchell knows that. He pointed out how they had 5 shots at it but failed each time, and that's probably the reason he chose to have a shot at it from Cleveland. However, it is certainly fair for Mitchell to ask for a decent reception, considering he gave it his all, and once he did depart, he didn't make a mess, and his move accounted for so much draft capital and young stars. But then again, you can't keep everyone happy, can you? Followed by, how was Mitchell's homecoming? The big day did finally arrive, as the D-Mitch-led Cavs made the trip to Utah for an exciting game. And it was beautiful for Mitchell, as he explained later in the post-match interview. The reception was phenomenal, and he appreciated it big time. He said that it was just like playing at home, like he had been for the past 5 years. The Jazz made sure it was a special moment by creating a special tribute video, and it was really good. A typical Jazz night, as Mitchell put it, and probably for the fans, it was even better because they also celebrated a win. Donovan added that it was unfortunate because he didn't get the dub, but gave the Jazz credit for fighting hard and competing to the end. That wraps it up, doesn't it? But Mitchell did give everything for the Cavaliers on the night. That's probably what made everything perfect if you're a Jazz fan, because you saw your former player drop a sensational 46-point performance, but the Jazz still managed to win a thriller. You can't write a better script than that. You really can't. Most fans in Salt Lake City were waiting for a chance to salute Spida for 4 months now, and they gave him a nice send-off too after the game as he lit up the court for the 36 minutes that he did play. After that, Mitch's game-high scoring run in Cavs' loss. An emotionally charged game began on the perfect note, with Utah taking the first quarter with a 31-24 lead. Donovan Mitchell put on a show then to level the proceedings going into halftime at 55-55, and it was a 2-quarter game from that point onward. For the Jazz, it was Lauri Markkanen who shone the brightest, despite Jordan Clarkson's 32-point display, as Markkanen produced a two-way show, dropping 25 points on his former team while grabbing 16 rebounds in the process. The Jazz came out roaring in the third and took a 5-point lead into a fun fourth quarter, which was Mitch time, as the Utah fans would very clearly know, having seen it up front for 5 years. Down by 3 points, the Cavs were in need of inspiration, and Mitchell buried a 13-foot jumper to cut the lead to 1. Then his defender-splitting transition layup gave the Cavs their first lead, and he capped a nostalgic 10-0 run with back-to-back silencing triples. Cavs were ahead, and it seemed like the perfect night for Mitchell, but they couldn't close the game. Finally, Clarkson and the Jazz get the last laugh. Another former Cavalier, Jordan Clarkson, also had a point to prove. With the Cavaliers leading by 5 in the final stages of the game, Clarkson buried a 3-pointer as he was fouled by Caris LeVert. The basket counted, and the review was upgraded to a flagrant, and Clarkson scored the free throw for a 4-point possession retaining play. Clarkson ended up hoisting another triple with another foul from behind, again by LeVert, and while the call was challenged, it was upheld, and Utah ran out the winners, scoring 7 points in 13 seconds, all without losing possession to Cleveland. For Utah fans, it was the perfect night to get one up on a true legend, but knowing Mitchell, he'll be back for some revenge. And that's a wrap for this video. Do you think Donovan Mitchell is a Jazz legend? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.